Hi, well today I'm going to do a bit of maintenance work on my Record Power AC400 air filter, which has started to play up. It wouldn't go to anything other than slow speed, and it had been a bit iffy off and on with medium packing up every now and again. So I rang the very nice people at Record Power. I bought this in 2017, so it's 7 years old, and explained the situation, and they said, well, it's almost certainly the PCB, which is this thing, and it's a control panel, and apparently some of them were a little bit iffy on some of the machines. So they didn't even quibble. They just said, oh, you bought loads of Record Power equipment from us already, so we'll send it to you free of charge. Now that is what I call service on a 7-year-old device. So many thanks Record Power, thanks Richard, because you were the guy, and I'm going to now try and figure out what I've got to do. So the first thing I'm going to do is take the rear frame off. I've obviously unplugged it. Looks like there's 4 screws on the top, a couple on the side, 4 on the bottom. I've got this control panel here. I'm not sure whether that can withdraw without taking the frame off at the back. I think I'd probably better do it a step at a time and see what happens. I think I'll unscrew these first and just see if that pulls out as a unit. Yeah, looks like there are nuts on the back. Hey ho! So I've got to take the whole back side off, which is fine. I probably should have done that to start with. Alright, that comes out with the motor as well. Oh yeah, there are nuts on the back of these things, so you've got to be careful with it. There's an earth lead that holds the motor, the whole body unit to this, so I think I'm going to just unscrew that. Right, so what we got? We've got the motor unit here, which is a bit dusty on the fans. They're not too bad at all. Nice and quiet, no problem with that by the looks of it. Then we've got the control panel at the back, which looks like I've got to disassemble it to get the cover off to be able to put the new PCB in. So there's a big ass multi-plug here. Yeah, clearly is that. And there's a connector here. Everything else, so that can just pull off there. I think. Yeah, there's a little white flange there that you just push down to unclick that. And there's another one here, little white flange. That's it, so that's that unplugged. Cover has to come off somehow. There's a screw here that seems to hold the plastic backing in place, but it's screwed in from the outside, so I think there's space here for what looks like there's supposed to be a screw, but there's no screw in it. It looks as if I've got to actually take this cover off in some shape or form. Well, I think I've got to peel this off. It's a bit of a shame, so it'll probably never go back on properly. I think I can probably salvage that and stick it back on with a bit of Gorilla Glue. But you get to the infrared sensor here, and the manual buttons and access to the lights that must shine through from the inside somehow or other. But that will free off the case. Success. A bit of dust in there, needs a bit of a blowout. That's the unit as it was. Yeah. Right, so there's 2 screws here. Two screws each with a little fibre washer. So that's the old one. This is the new one. Just locate carefully into the appropriate recess for it. Now in place, the flying lead for the 2-prong connector. Go in with the little clip at the top. Click. And the flying lead for the other one with the connector at the top. A little washer, a spring washer, so I just now need to make sure it is on tight. Yeah, give the motor a quick blast and then put it back in the case and see what happens. A bit of fiddle, this is a couple of washers to go on. Probably drop it a few times. Little tiny point is when you're screwing the screws back in, their self tappers are going into quite thin metal. So although I wasn't over tightening them to the best of my knowledge, one of them, this one, has ragged out the hole, so I need a slightly larger self tapper. So I'm just going to forage for one in my screw box. Right, the moment of truth. Whoa! That all works too. Well, Record Power, that's a major result. The only bad design is you don't get a new label to stick on here when you repair it. But I shall try and stick that on myself. Thank you very much, Record Power.